Barack Obama. Here we go, everybody. Hello there.
Outside, can make it inside.
Sacramento in 2009, but take another look. These images, so hauntingly reminiscent of the iconic photos of the 1930s and the Great Depression.
You know, the stock market is sort of like a tracking pole in politics. You know, it bobs up and down day to day. And if you spend all your time worrying about that, then you're probably going to get the long-term strategy wrong. I do want to comment on the news about executive bonuses at AIG. I think some of you have heard a little bit about this over the last few days. This is a corporation that finds itself in financial distress due to recklessness and greed. Under these circumstances, it's hard to understand how derivative traders at AIG warranted any bonuses, much less $165 million in extra pay. I mean, how do they justify this outrage to the taxpayers who are keeping the company afloat?
This is a modern-day shantytown along the railroad track. For 30 years he worked construction, then 6 months ago, the jobs dried up.
I appreciate greatly the Chinese government's continuing confidence in United States treasuries.
The two alternative paths available for us are, one is to let the system stay where it is, to hope over time the system simply can grow its way out of this. And that will leave us vulnerable to a longer period where you have periods of wrenching, damaging, deleveraging by the financial system that sucks more oxygen out of the economy and recovery. Or you can have the government come in and have government itself come in and purchase these assets and own all that risk.
Take it all.
Set the price itself. And I am very confident that that would leave us in a position where the government is taking risks it does not understand, cannot manage effectively, highly vulnerable to overpaying for those assets, and charge that we're giving a disguised subsidy that's unjustified to those institutions. And that's the balance we're trying to strike.
I know
Markets are working again in order to make sure that families can get basic consumer loans, auto loans, student loans, that small businesses are able to finance themselves, and we can start getting this economy moving again. As I said before, there are a number of legs in the stool in economic recovery. Step one was making sure we had a stimulus package that was robust enough to fill the huge gap in demand that was created by the recession. Step two was making sure that we had an effective homeowners plan to try to keep people in their homes and to stabilize the housing market. Because of the work that's already been done, you are starting to see glimmers of hope in the housing market that stabilization may be taking place. Rates are at a very, very low level, and you're starting to see some activity in the housing market. We then took a series of steps to improve liquidity in what had been secondary markets that had been completely frozen. And we are now seeing activity in student loans and auto loans. We announced last week a small business initiative that ensures that we have more activity and you start seeing small businesses being able to get credit again in order to sell products and services and make payroll.
I just want to say that the only thing less popular than putting money into banks is putting money into the auto industry.
So 18% are in favor, 76% against.
It's not a high number.
You're sitting here and you are laughing about some of these problems. Are people going to look at this and say, I mean, he's sitting there just making jokes about money with him. How do you deal with it? I mean, explain your mood and your laughter.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be
a punch drunk?
No, there's got to be a little gallows humor to get you through the day.
All this, isn't it beautiful in its simplicity? Now, of course, not too far in the future, we will have rampant inflation, and it'll take a wheelbarrow full of money to buy a loaf of bread, and the Chinese undoubtedly will see what's going on and quit lending us money, and our economy will collapse. But the bottom probably won't fall out for years, long enough for our generation to fully enjoy the benefits of an artificially pumped up economy before we pass the bill on to our children. So this holiday season, be extra nice to the kids. Bless their hearts, they have no idea what's in store for them. But of course, that's their problem. Our job, your job, this holiday season, is to follow the lead of our government. Spend more than you can afford, more than you can ever possibly pay back. Ask not what your country can spend for you. Ask what you can spend for your country. Isn't that what made America a great country? Happy holiday season.